Welcome back to Bag Buzz. Today, you guys, we are talking about everything you need to know about the Chanel price increase. If you didn't know, a week ago, Chanel had a price increase, another one for 2024. March 27th was the day, and actually 3 weeks before that, we gave you a little hint. We told you guys on social media that the increase was happening. The rumor was coming. So if you don't follow us on social media, you got to follow luxdejure.lana. Mm-hmm. I'm luxdejure.tammy, or just follow the main luxdejure. But there's a lot of things to uncover about the Chanel price increase. And we have our very opinionated selves to thank for the things we're about to say about the Chanel price increase. So I have my questions here in messy handwriting, but Lana, tell me, what are your thoughts on this constant Chanel price increase? We're not talking about one a year.
Right.
We're talking about now it's multiple.
I feel like now it's been at least twice a year that this has been happening, and it just seems like this is the way it's going to continue for some reason. So I don't know. I'm not too happy about it myself personally. Well, not happy in the sense that I feel like the price keeps increasing, but the quality is not increasing. Yeah, I feel like the quality is actually going down a little bit, and
the client that came in with the Chanel emblem fell off. I don't know if you were here.
Yes, and I've seen on in the Facebook groups and in other forums where clients have been talking about they purchased a bag and then a week later they noticed a major flaw, something has fallen apart, stitching. Yes, exactly. Yeah. So
I agree with you. I, for one, am a little bit happy about the price increases as a Chanel collector myself, as someone who is very happy with their Chanel collection and am team pre-owned.
Yeah.
Because I don't want to buy Chanel brand new in stores. It's like stock investing now, but guaranteed. That's why it's a pro and con depending on how you look at it. Yeah. But I absolutely agree. For those that know Chanel, the pre-2000s had better quality than they do now. Right. Chanel used to make their bags with 24 karat plated gold hardware, and now it's not even gold anymore. Now most of them, it's this light champagne-y gold. You can't even tell if it's actually silver or gold. Creases
which
easily.
I'm not a fan of. Yes, the caviar I noticed has been creasing a lot easily. And just even some of the smaller bags, the price on a small bag now is a little bit, I think, outrageous on some of these. They're getting smaller, and then the price is getting more expensive. So
yes,
yeah.
And now, just to give you guys context, the Chanel Classic Medium Flap is $10,800 USD now in stores, which is 14,000 Canadian, guys. I'm originally Canadian, so that's why I always reference the Canadian
and
that
currency.
At this rate, these classic flaps will be $20,000 by 2028.
Yeah.
If we're lucky, it doesn't happen before then.
Yeah.
But why do you think they are constantly having these price increases?
I almost feel like part of the reason is they're trying to stay at the top. In terms of all of the other luxury houses, they want to remain at the top, just right along with Hermes. So I think in order for them to keep up with that motto and stay competitive, they're having to continually price increase and kind of make it more of a rare item. Oh my gosh, if you own a Chanel, it's not the same as owning Fendi or Gucci or any of those. So I think they're just trying to set themselves apart.
I really think they're trying to eliminate the middle class or just the average person from being able to afford their bags. They really want to make sure it is maybe more exclusive. Only the elite, the truly wealthy, can afford these bags. Otherwise, there's no way you can say we're increasing the prices due to inflation, because the amount of increases, last year, they had 3. In 2023, they had 3 price increases, if not 4. Now, I've lost track with how many price increases they've had.
It's almost like quarterly now. So here we are, March. Yeah. And then I imagine in June, we might see another price increase, and then September.
And then to increase it during a recession is crazy. But I get it this year. I understand it because, yes, a lot of things have gone up in prices this year. But I think that truly is why they're increasing it. But do we really? But now that bears the next question: do we think they're trying to copy the Hermes model, the Hermes exclusive, kind of their model? Because the price is the same as a Birkin now, pretty much.
And that's kind of where I think they might kind of be wrong in doing that, because some people might just say, well, why would I spend, 10, 11,000 on a classic flap when I can just go buy pre-owned Hermes for around the same price? And then the value, yes, they're both increasing as time goes on. So it's still an investment. It's still, you're going to increase in value, but I don't know if it's smart in that sense, because I think more people might say, well, I'd rather get better quality and spend it on Hermes.
Yeah. So can I tell you something that I heard? The classic medium caviar flap gold hardware, and if you're in the comments, vouch for this, but the clients that have come into Luxe du Jour have told me that the sales associates are telling me it's a 2 to 3 year wait list. Right. But what we're predicting is it really a wait list, or is that what the sales associate is telling you, similar to you need to get put on the list, right. But listen, if you buy this, the ready-to-wear, you buy other things at Chanel, will offer you the classic flap, the most coveted.
Black with the gold hardware.
The black caviar gold hardware.
Yeah.
So what I think, this is just a theory, someone being in the designer luxury space for a while and having all these conversations with the bag community and the clients, is I think they're trying to make these medium classic flaps, or even just any classic flap in black caviar, gold hardware, or silver hardware. Yeah. When they say it's a wait list, I don't really think it's a wait list.
Yeah.
I think it is they're curating who is gonna get offered this bag, or is it really a lucky draw? I know some boutiques call it a lucky draw.
Yeah.
I don't know, because I know the clients that come in that bought ready to wear, they got offered what they wanted. They got that Chanel Kelly that everyone wanted, but they were ready to wear buyers, or they bought a lot before. But if they're new, you're new to Chanel, let's say, I don't think you'd be able to walk in and get the most coveted sold out bag. So that's just my thought. But I just want to say that because I do think Chanel is trying to copy the Hermes model and try to go for that exclusivity without improving their quality. I mean, Hermes is over here hand stitching, hand making with one artisan a Hermes bag for 20 plus hours. Chanel is machine made and their quality is not as good. So I definitely agree with you on that. Now, what do you think? Like, is this a good thing or a bad thing?
I mean, I kind of think, like you said initially, because that was my other thought, it's a good thing for people that already own all the classics. They've had them for a while because now they've gone up in value. So it is kind of like investing. You have to just make sure you're buying at the right time and that you got that great deal. So in that sense, I think okay, it's good for those people, but for somebody who's just starting and they're ready to finally buy their first, Chanel, and just knowing that, oh my gosh, 2 years ago it was $8,000, and now I'm paying $10,000.
That's why I joke around. I said, listen, honey, if you don't buy me this Chanel now, you're paying more for it in the future. Exactly. And it's like, I know there's clients that are saving for their dream Chanel bag. Yeah. And then the longer it takes them to save, it's like, oh my God.
Now they have to save even more.
Yeah, I have to save an extra $2,000. Yeah. So, yes, I think it is a good thing depending on how you look at it. If you're team pre-owned, I don't think it's a bad thing necessarily. The bad thing is the quality, right? That's not improving. But now Chanel has that 5-year warranty with all their bags, so which is good, as they should. Like, if they start charging for all those defects, protest. Yes.
I think people will stop by. They'll be like, wait, you can't sell me, something that I'm going to walk out the store and now I have a problem.
Apart. It's embarrassing. Imagine if you were just at the store and a part just popped off. I felt so embarrassed for that one client that told us that story, right? So it really depends on perspective, because how I look at it is listen, I get a little excited when Chanel does have their price increases, knowing all my Chanel bags in my closet's going up, and I'm like, honey, see that? That's how I get my husband on board, right? I tell him, look, see, my bags did better than your stocks. It increased. over
I
time.
mean, so same, like this bag, for example, I have,
Mm-hmm.
and I bought it when it first came out. It was like a new style. Now, from what I'm hearing, it's there to stay. It's not going
Yeah.
anywhere. So I think at the time I bought it, it was around 4,000. I checked the website recently, 7,000.
Oh my gosh.
So it's already almost doubled.
yeah,
you know,
and you're gonna make money when now. I think you're pretty
if
much
I wanted,
profit.
yes,
Yeah.
now you're making money, and then you can put it towards something else. But yeah,
The thing about playing the Chanel game, and I know a lot of people will come for us saying like the bag is not an investment. Listen, I have made money on all my Chanel bags except one. Except one, guys. It is that card holder bag that literally fits one card. It's the flat
the
metal
little
one. Remember
metal-
the
yeah,
metal?
yeah.
But
Yes.
listen, I'm holding on to that because I'm playing the long game. I guarantee you guys, I'll talk to you in 5 years. That card holder bag.
Yeah.
Yes, did I buy it for almost $5,000 and it only fits one card, either my Amex or my driver license. And if you didn't see my reel on it, my Instagram reel on it, you will see and you will think, yes, I'm ridiculous, but I am certain it will go up in value.
I'm sure it will.
So you're playing the long game,
Yeah.
especially when you're buying brand new. But when you're buying pre-owned, you can save thousands of dollars off the retail prices. And that is how reselling comes in. It's a real thing where people make money on it.
Make
So
money,
imagine
yeah.
like you're buying a stock. And this is what I compared to my husband. I'm like, wouldn't you love it if you knew that stock was gonna go up
Was
for sure
gonna-
and never
yes.
go down in
Yeah.
price? But then you also get the stock for a deal.
Yeah.
You get it for a discounted price than what you would buy on the stock market today.
right. It's like a no-brainer.
It's a no-brainer.
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
why I choose pre-owned. I'm looking for the best deals on pre-owned because I don't have to play a longer game. So for example, if I were to buy the Chanel Classic Flat brand new right now for $10,800
Right.
USD, I have to play a 5-year game.
At
Let's
least
say
5 years,
yeah,
yeah.
like a few years in order to sell it for a profit.
Right.
Because you have to wait just that much longer. But if I find the exact Classic Flat for pre-owned in excellent condition for $7,000.
For example, like this one.
Yes,
I think we have it for 7,000 or 8,000 right now
Yes.
on the website.
That's how resellers are born.
If you buy this today, you're already up 3,000 compared to the current pricing in the store.
Yes.
So you've already saved, and then in a couple years, if you wanted to turn around and sell, you could easily sell it for 10 or 11.
Exactly. And this is not to say girl math, okay? Like it's algebra now at the no, I'm just kidding. But this is actually the real thing, like how people become resellers. So I think it's really a good thing depending on how you look at it. Like I have an abundance mindset. I love looking at things like, wow, me buying this stock, this bag, I get to wear it.
Yeah.
I'm
get to
happy.
use it.
My
I'm
husband doesn't get to touch his stocks, but I do, and then it makes me money too. Like
Right.
it's a win-win situation for me. So Chanel, you can keep increasing the prices.
increasing.
Just say increase the quality, maybe up the warranty,
Yeah.
and maybe make the overall customer experience a little bit better too.
Yeah.
Because I also have a bone to pick with the customer experience. That's another story. So what's your advice? So we're getting a little carried away. What's your advice to those that want to buy Chanel, and how would they afford it?
So, I mean, my advice is go the pre-owned route if you can, and if you find the exact combination that you're looking for in terms of leather, hardware. My advice would be go the pre-owned route because you're already going to be saving money right up front, and then years down the road, once you decide, if you ever decide, let's say, to sell it, you will make your money back. So it's not like you're going to take a loss. So my advice would be, if you're okay and you could find exactly what you're looking for, go the pre-owned route. If you're having a hard time finding the color
Get what you love.
combination,
It's not
just
a bad
find,
choice.
spend a little extra, get what you want from the boutique. Either way, down the road, it's still going to increase in value.
Yeah, especially if like you're playing, you know it's going to be a bag you're going to have for a while.
Right.
And of course, authentic only, always shop from trusted pre-owned sources, because last thing I want is for you to have a bad pre-owned experience, right?
Yeah.
Do you think vintage is better? That's my final question.
Final question.
Because vintage, the amount you're paying, like I know it doesn't sit right with people to buy a Chanel bag that once was $19.95 but was
Right.
not $300. I'm being a little dramatic, but $2,000.
$2,000,
Let's say.
Yeah. I mean, I have both, and I would say I love both equally, but I am drawn to my vintage one a little bit more just because I feel like it just looks nicer. It looks richer, especially with the gold hardware. So if you're able to find one in really good condition, I would say go with the vintage and then move on to the classic.
Yeah, and I'm so excited because I'm going to Japan, vintage Chanel shopping.
I have a list for you.
Oh, you have a list?
Yes.
I'm just so excited, my first time. And so for my opinion on vintage is, the great thing about buying vintage is they just don't make them the way they used to make them. And when I think about buying pre-owned or vintage, it's like you're gonna buy the thing that not everyone has that is currently in stores right now. Right. You're finding that discontinued rare gem, and even if you know you're paying for 300 times more than what it originally cost, remember, that vintage piece also goes up in value. Yeah. Like I remember Luxor selling vintage Chanel vintage Diana flaps, excellent condition, 3 years ago for 3,000 Canadian. And I have screenshot proof of that. And then now you can't even find them for like 5,500 Canadian, which is equivalent to 4,000 USD. So at the time, if there's any OG Luxor clients here,
they got a great deal.
They can vouch for this. They were buying the Chanel vintage Diana just 3 years ago for like 2,800 USD.
Yeah. So I mean, even those too, like the vintage does go up in value. So as long as you try to maintain like the overall condition of it, you store it properly, then yeah, vintage is a great find.
What else do we need to talk about with the Chanel price increase? I think we covered that all.
We covered most of it. The only thing I forgot to touch on, which I did want to mention, if you are buying in store, I know we say like they keep continuing to increase in value, but I just want everyone to keep in mind, not all of the styles increase in value. So the little seasonal bags sometimes don't, but if you're sticking with the classics, then yes,
you're sticking with the classics.
You're making an investment. Yeah,
you're right. That's such an important topic. Like being in the designer luxury industry, I have seen people lose money on Chanel.
Right.
This is not financial advice, like, so don't come for us. Like, my financial advice is like, what are you doing?
What we see.
Exactly. Yeah. But like, for example, the 18S Emerald Green.
Right.
That shocking green.
Who would have thought?
Who would have thought?
15,000.
I honestly think you can't even find it pre-owned anymore. Like, it is so rare. 20,000.
I saw one pop up recently.
You saw, one
just
pop up.
One. It's like once in a blue moon.
Once in a blue moon, and then it'll sell right away.
Yes.
But that bag, like that is a classic style. But that color, you would have never thought that color would have sold for that 4x.
Yeah.
But to learn more about designer luxury, it's all about, being surrounded by it, and then also doing your research, understanding what fashion trends are trending.
Colors, styles.
But that's why you have Lana and me at Luxor. Like, you can always get designer luxury advice if you need it. We've just been around a lot of designer bags to kind of know what would hold its value. So if you ever need a second opinion, ask us. And you can find her Luxor.Lana, Luxor.Tammy. I do a lot of shenanigans on there. More so, not that much advice, but just more so shenanigans. But that is such a good thing. I totally forgot to touch on that. So is there anything else that we should cover with the Chanel price increase?
I feel like we covered
a lot, you guys. We wanted it to be
the main
informative. And just to give you our honest opinions on it. But that's what we do here at BagBuzz. So if you thought this video was helpful, and who knows what you want to talk about, who knows what you want us to talk about in the next video, let us know in the comments below. But we will see you in the next video. Bye.